All right, welcome back to another episode. We appreciate you coming back as always. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share. I want to thank Adam Chubbuck with Douglas Realty in Pasadena, Maryland. The website is tacmd.com, tacmd.com. That's tacmd.com. The Fed lowered interest rates, and that's going to affect mortgages going down. So if you're a buyer, this might be one of the best times to be a buyer in the market. You want to go with a professional real estate agent who can guide you through a market, especially as a buyer. But even as a seller, just because it might be a buyer's market doesn't mean that sellers are in a negative position. However, if you don't use a real estate agent, you're not going to have the advantage of having someone who is going to let you know what sells and what doesn't. I know, for example, when my parents sold their house about 20 years ago, they went with a real estate agent who probably didn't have the best bedside manner, but he basically went in there and said, you need to do these three things in order to have your house sell at the highest price in the quickest amount of time. They did those three things, and lo and behold, the house sold quickly and for the highest price. That's why it's important to have a really seasoned real estate agent as a buyer or a seller, because they're going to navigate you through the process of buying or selling a home in a way that's the best for you. So go to tacmd.com, that's tacmd.com, and schedule an appointment with Adam today. All right, so this is going to be a strange topic. It's been in the news. Let's see, this is going to go out Tuesday, 9/23. So about a week. Maybe two since it happened.
It's two.
And depending on the take that you have, depends on whether people want to cancel you or not. I don't think we're going to have that hot of a take. We're mostly going to react to the takes of other people. Yeah. So, but for anyone that doesn't know, a gentleman named Charlie Kirk was shot from, I believe, about 150, 200 feet.
Yards, I think.
Yards, yeah. Sniper style, essentially.
Yeah, it was I think it was a Mauser, but it was chambered in 30-06 and had a scope on it. So, that shot's not something that's too out of the ordinary like that. A lot of people go to the range and make that shot all day. It's not a very hard one to do.
Sure, still assassination sniper style.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, there was intent to shoot and kill him. I believe that the person's name is Tyler Robinson, that is in custody. We'll get into whether he was right or left leaning and all that fun stuff. But essentially, Charlie Kirk was shot in the neck, later died at the hospital. And of course, everyone is going to make this political.
Mm-hmm. And this is one of the ones where I think because Charlie Kirk was a political figure. Yep. So, and of course, depending on what side of the political spectrum you fall on, there's going to be your reaction is going to be one way or the other. And I'm not talking about the people that say, "Oh, this is terrible," because a lot of people from the left. And for those that you don't know who've been living under a rock, Charlie Kirk is a conservative. He started a group called Turning Point USA, which did a lot of work on campuses. He's been credited for flipping the youth vote for Donald Trump in the last election. But, so there are prominent figures on the left who came out and said, hey, this is awful, no one should die, and all the typical stuff that people say when this happens, but at least they came out. And then, of course, there was the gutters, which is the internet, and the comment section. So, they came out, and there were people, of course, the TikTok videos of crazy blue hairs dancing around and celebrating, and, I can't see celebrating anyone dying, but that's how they took it.
Yeah, and we're probably going to be a little scattered as far as the conversation goes, because one thing leads into another. It's kind of hard not to kind of go down different pathways with the conversation. So whether you like Charlie Kirk or not, that's kind of irrelevant at this point. The guy was shot. And initially the reaction from the left politicians, we'll say Democrat politicians, was one of, oh, this is horrible. Political violence is never is never the way to go. It's never the path. And then within 24 hours, they started to try and character assassinate the guy. Mm-hmm. Basically just saying, well, he wasn't that great of a guy. This is who we're memorializing. This is not that great of a guy. He said women suck, or he said women did, or he said this, or he said that. It's like, okay, you just contradicted what you said.
Yeah.
And the other part of it is let's say if it was 100% true what these people are saying. I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying let's say it is. Argument's sake, devil's advocate. The person has still died, and he obviously meant something to some people.
Yeah, because there was probably thousands of people there to see him.
Correct. But even then, I mean, even in the conservative movement, the MAGA movement, whatever you want to call it, America First movement, whatever you want to call it, he meant something to some people. And for others to basically try and say, well, you shouldn't feel so bad because he was this kind of person, is downplaying the issue. And almost, and they always say, well, you don't want to make their feelings irrelevant, right? That's a leftist thing.
Yeah,
feelings matter.
Your truth,
not
the truth,
right?
Your truth,
and it's like, and this is one of the things that we've said before. Democrats do one thing well, and that's message things really shittily. Like, I would say in the past 4 to 5 years, I don't know who's in charge of the PR for these people.
They should be fired.
It's definitely coordinated because about 7 to 10, 12, 20 of these people all say the same fucking shit. Like, verbatim.
Mm-hmm.
And it couldn't have been the worst fucking shit to say. It's like, hey, someone got assassinated, sniper style, with intent. Maybe you sit this one out and shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
That's all you had to do, was shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Because if you just shut up, it probably goes away in 2 to 3 weeks. The news cycle is that quick. But instead, the news went from Charlie Kirk got assassinated to Democrats are evil human beings because this is what they're saying about him. And all the people associated with them, all the other subminor groups are on TikTok saying, sorry, not sorry. Yeah. Like, and for people that don't know, like TikTok, people think that Twitter is one of the worst places on earth. You haven't been to TikTok yet. TikTok is where all of the fucking worst people go to make videos and out themselves as
like
horrible humans.
If Twitter's like the toilet bowl, TikTok is like the rim that everyone pees on, and it's got all pubes and nasty like that.
Right. Pretty much.
At least the bowl gets flushed out.
Right. Right.
Like there's fresh water in the bowl from time to time.
From time to time, yeah. 90% of the time it's fresh water.
Yeah.
That's
and
10%.
Like every now and then if you blow it up, there might be some scattered remains of poo stuck to it, but it gets cleaned. The rim.
TikTok is a bathroom on the Jersey Turnpike. Is the rim of a toilet on the Jersey Turnpike bathroom. That's what that is. And like, and of course, like, some people got fired for these opinions because they celebrated the death of another human being.
And we had just talked about that with Philly's Karen, and I still don't think they should be fired either.
I don't think they should. Not for Philly's Karen.
Yeah. Now, but this, you know, people held these opinions before they were able to broadcast them.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, this is one of those things where, and look, I just started listening to Charlie Kirk's podcast maybe a month ago. I knew he had one. I'd seen some of his videos on the different platforms I'm on. And again, it goes to, so people go and say, Charlie Kirk's on the right, I hate Charlie Kirk. And then what they would do is they just, you know, confirmation bias, their own opinion. They just reinforce it by just taking the worst line or two lines out of what he was saying, see this, he's racist, see this, he's sexist, see this, he's that. This is the first podcaster, and podcasters haven't been around for a long time, that has been assassinated or murdered in such a manner. So when you listen to a podcast for a while, you eventually feel like you know the person who's, like, people ask questions about guests on Joe Rogan, and they'll say, what's Joe Rogan like? Like, he's exactly like he is on the podcast. So you really get to know the person. So it seemed, you know, listen to his podcast, and I listened to a lot of his episodes because he'd have, like one episode he had the an Eastern Orthodox priest was his guest and was talking about that denomination. I thought that was pretty cool, so I listened to it. And you'd have different. It wasn't all just him up there doing, evil right wing Republican stuff. He'd have, of course, there's always that bend to it, but he'd have interesting people on to talk to and listen to. So it would kind of hit a little bit different this one because when they tried to shoot Donald Trump twice, I don't know Donald Trump. I don't know personally Charlie Kirk either, but I felt like I know him better simply because I had spent, a couple hours in the car listening to him.
Yeah. And other people that had met him also had kind words to say about him. And I'm going to use, we talk about Bill Maher a lot. Charlie Kirk went on Bill Maher's Club Random podcast. Mm-hmm. So basically, for those of you that don't know, Bill Maher does a podcast in addition to his show, and it's just him sitting down one-on-one with another person. They talk for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
I actually really like that.
I do like it. In fact, that's what got me listening to Charlie Kirk's podcast was him on Bill Maher. Yeah. So,
and for people, I mean, like, I'm liberal in a way that Bill Maher is liberal. I'm probably more skeptical, or I should say this. As far as COVID goes, I was more skeptical of COVID things before Maher was. Maher finally came on board with a lot of that stuff, and he also has been questioning Democrats more as of the last year or two. But ideologically, he and I are probably very similar. Like, I'm probably closer to Bill Maher's politics than I am to Charlie Kirk's politics. Mm-hmm. However, I also felt both were fairly reasonable in their politics. And to the point where they both sat down and they agreed on about 90% of the shit. I mean, obviously, Bill Maher's not religious. Charlie Kirk is. But there's other shit in there. And I wish more people would have seen the Club Random podcast. But instead, like we've talked about echo chambers before, they don't see that side of Charlie Kirk. They just see the clips that someone curated for them.
Yeah.
And it's out of context. Mm-hmm. Like, I saw some of the clips that were going around. They were completely out of context.
Oh, absolutely.
And you could clip this show, take it out of context, and make us sound horrendous.
Well, it's just like any. That's what they did with reality TV before podcasts and internet was, videos on the internet, YouTube, all this stuff was big. They would just have a group of people completely surrounded by cameras, and they could take that footage and they could selectively edit it to make these people look like they all hated each other or they were all best friends. You could take it, and that's what they did. And reality TV was, obviously everyone knew back in the day was huge. Now, I don't even watch TV now, so I don't know what's on there. I guess they're still on there.
I watch sports.
Yeah, me too.
Like, I watch the Ravens.
Yeah.
So going back to the TikToks, and this is one of the things where, because this is kind of where we're going to lead with this, more of the reaction side than the actual part of what happened. So people made some really, in my opinion, they were some really bad comments about Charlie Kirk. And basically it was the sorry not sorry thing. Mm-hmm. And in my opinion, that's in poor taste. It doesn't matter what my opinion is, though. The opinion that matters is the employers of these people. And so now, it's funny. I don't know if it's funny or sad or whatever, but a lot of these people then went and made TikToks and said, I got fired for posting a Charlie Kirk video. Okay, well, you are dependent on someone else for a paycheck. If they don't want to be associated with you because of your viewpoints and opinions, that has nothing to do with free speech. Because that's where a lot of these, oh my God, it's free speech, you're allowed to have an opinion. You are correct. You're 100% allowed to have an opinion.
You're also allowed to suffer the consequences for expressing that opinion.
Correct. Even if you think it's a good opinion. Mm-hmm. Your employer might not.
Yeah.
And if that's the case and they don't want to be associated with you, or they don't want to be associated with the blowback for people that don't agree with what you said, they can fire you. Because I know quite a few, I don't know these people, but some people were teachers. They were other public sector people. Yep. They were private company people. I guess one guy was from Microsoft, worked for Microsoft. Mm-hmm. Dude got fired.
Yeah.
And he's like, I only had an opinion. I didn't. Is there anything wrong with me not caring about Charlie Kirk dying? It's like, no, there is nothing wrong with you not caring. But you actively went online to score points with whoever watches your videos to glorify his death.
And it wasn't like you were talking to somebody and you either someone with bad intent got a video of you saying something, or you just have to be on camera, or like a hot mic moment. Like, it wasn't like that. You, with intent, went on there. Like, you pushed play and you did all the things to publish this opinion.
And you wanted the attention.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you wouldn't have posted it on TikTok.
Yeah. And you got it.
Yeah. I mean, just like people say with us. Like, look, we put a show out.
Mm-hmm.
And not that we want the attention, but we want the opinion to go out. Because I'll be honest with you, and I truly believe this, I feel we're one of the only centrist podcasts that exist. We've stated numerous times our politics. We are very middle of the road.
Mm-hmm.
We voted for both parties.
Yeah.
We have no dog in the hunt as far as political parties go. Because by the time it gets to you and I, we vote in the general. Like, I am actually, if you go look at my voter registration, I am registered as unaffiliated. Mm-hmm. Not even apparently independent as a party.
Really?
So if you register as independent, you're part of like an independent party. I was like, wait a minute, I ain't part of that. So apparently you have to check unaffiliated.
Yeah.
So I am an unaffiliated person. The only time I've ever registered as a Republican was, I believe, 4 years ago, and that was so I could vote in a primary for the neighbor.
That's the only reason I did it.
Right. And we've had Amanda on this show before. She literally lives in our neighborhood.
Yeah.
I know her personally. It's probably the first person to run for office that I know personally. Mm-hmm. And I said, you're a good person. You know what? I'm going to register. I'm going to vote for you in the primary, because generally after the primary, the general's done for that point. And then I unaffiliated again, right? And so...
Yeah, I forgot to click unsubscribe.
Yeah.
So you took the 3-month free thing, and so did I, and then I started paying for it.
Right. I know. You kept getting... Your credit card's still getting charged. Yeah. But, yeah, we are two individuals who have actively flip-flopped votes over the last 20 years.
Sure. And changed opinions.
Yep.
And I think that's, I am not married to any particular idea.
Right.
Because I think you're foolish if you take one position and you're like, that's it. But then you face overwhelming evidence that position is not correct. Yeah. But you still stay there. Like, that's the hill you want to die on. Like, to me, I think you should be a part of growing and learning as a human being, and is having different opinions about things. And I can go back through years and years of my life and tell you where I was steadfast left on an issue and then have switched around. And I've had issues where I've started right and gone left, and ones where I started left and gone right. So where I've started one side or the other and went to the middle because I don't care.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I also think that being someone who votes that way, it gives you a unique perspective at either side. Are there times when I'm more influenced by one side versus the other? Yes. If I was going to say that I'm unbiased for everything, I'm a fool.
Right.
My brain is not superior to the algorithms that feed me information. Mm-hmm. They are by far going to manipulate my mind. And for anyone who thinks that their algorithm doesn't, you are also foolish.
Yeah.
That being said, it's not a free speech issue. Now, we will get to the situation where people are also saying it's a free speech issue, and that's the Jimmy Kimmel thing.
Mm-hmm.
But let's go back. Should people be getting fired for this? Look, if I'm the employer, no, I'm not doing that. However, as an employer, you have a right to associate with or not with an employee that has a certain opinion. That is a fairly vile opinion, though, that you celebrated the death of another human being just because they didn't agree with you politically. That's rough.
And when I see the government people, the teachers, the firemen, the dog catcher, whoever it is, getting fired for that, I don't think it's because they're. I would say I know it if I could be 100% sure. I don't think it has anything to do with the fact that they said something bad about Charlie Kirk or someone dying. I think it comes from the fact that these administrators are spineless cowards and don't want to deal with the backlash. So it's very easy for them to say, "Oh, we've severed ties. They don't work for us anymore," and then the mob will just leave.
I think there's also probably another aspect to it, which might be it's a lot of HR people don't want to do the hard work of firing someone and documenting how like all the stuff they need to fire someone. So if you give them an opportunity to fire you and you're a bad employee, they're going to take it.
Yeah.
And so how much of it was you were just a shit employee? You gave them a reason to fire you. And that's where we get to Kimmel.
Yeah.
And I don't know Jimmy Kimmel, obviously. But
I liked him on the Man Show.
I loved him on the Man, but he was a hardcore liberal. And I'm sorry, not liberal. He was a hardcore Democrat. I have gotten to the point where I do not call Democrats liberals anymore. There are two distinct differences right now. So Kimmel is a diehard Democrat, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you're a diehard Democrat, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying that was the problem. But he is very biased in what he says. He was biased during COVID, just like Colbert was. Oh, with the vaccine.
Oh, God.
That was atrocious.
That was just bad propaganda.
Again, the Democrats do one thing well. Shitty messaging. It all comes back to that, right? All right. So Kimmel goes on, and he says, and I'm quoting, so this is a direct quote. He goes, and this is during his monologue. "We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it." Okay. Now, why does that matter? Well, for one, he's basically saying the shooter was MAGA.
Yeah, which doesn't make any sense.
We'll get to that too.
It's not funny.
And then he's also calling it MAGA gang.
Yeah.
So there's 2 points in there. And the whole thing about scoring political points, it's basically, and I'll get to the exact rule in a minute, but you cannot tell a blatant lie on certain airwaves. Those certain airwaves are this. There are 4 television networks. It's Fox, NBC, ABC, CBS, and any terrestrial radio. So basically anything that comes through your radio. Those are free government airwaves. Okay? Essentially, the government licenses the airwaves to those networks for free. But in exchange, they play by a stricter set of rules from the FCC. Because everyone said, oh, they went after Kimmel, they put pressure on ABC to fire Kimmel. The FCC, over the last 10 years, has issued 150 fines for this type of stuff. Blatant falsehoods. I mean, even going before that, anyone who knows of Howard Stern knows that dude got fined by the FCC weekly.
Oh, yeah.
Mostly for sexual words and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Boobies and titties. However, and one of the reasons why he went to SiriusXM was because it's behind a paywall. But SiriusXM doesn't use free government airwaves to disseminate their product, right? Okay. So why does that matter? Okay, so there is a rule within the FCC. It's called FCC Character Qualifications Policy. Under 47 U.S.C. 308B and related FCC rules, broadcast licensees must be of good character to hold a license. Nothing big there, whatever, word salad. The FCC has long held that news distortion, deliberately falsifying the news, is evidence of lack of character fitness. We'll get back to news in a minute. If the commission finds a broadcaster intentionally lied or misled viewers, or misled is a big thing here, that can weigh heavily against them in a license renewal or revocation proceeding. Okay. Why does that matter? Because if Kimmel says this on Fox News If Kimmel says this on MSNBC or CNN or a podcast or YouTube or on Sirius XM radio, nothing happens to him. But because he said it on ABC, he is bound by that rule of misleading viewers or intentionally lying. In all intents and purposes, Jimmy should have steered clear of this. He should have just waited. But he didn't. Okay, so what are the other aspects of this? The other aspects of this are Jimmy Kimmel's late night show loses $40 million approximately per year for ABC and Disney. Disney owns ABC. And this kind of goes back to the thing of if you're a shitty employee and your employer finds a way to get out of your contract, they're going to take it. Okay, so let's say Jimmy wasn't a shitty employee, but he is costing them $40 million a year.
Yeah.
And the FCC goes and says, hey, you've got this situation for what he said online. It violates FCC policy. And it's essentially the FCC goes, we're going to fine you. But they also gave them another option. They said if Jimmy Kimmel goes online and apologizes or says basically, hey, I said this, it was untrue.
Like Prince of Retraction almost.
Yeah. They would have, I guess, either lowered the fine or something, and all would have been good. Kimmel rejected that. He did not want to do that. And so then ABC said, okay, we're going to cancel your contract effective immediately. And we're also going to save about $40 million a year.
Yeah.
Yay.
He just gave us an out.
Correct. And that's what he did. He gave them an out. Now, Kimmel, on the other hand, can probably go on YouTube or something or Twitter or wherever, and he can probably make an okay living. Although Don Lemon's still trying to do that, and it's going a little rough for him, right?
I think Chris Cuomo is in that same...
Chris Cuomo, that dude is in a whole world of hurt as far as what's going on. Like, there are still people that are naive enough to listen to him, but after his debate with Dave Smith... I forgot who hosted it. I think was it Valuetainment or someone hosted it? Where Dave Smith literally played back Chris Cuomo's words from CNN, and Chris Cuomo basically goes, well, I didn't do that. Like, after they played the video.
Right.
With him looking at the video. Like, bro, you can't say you didn't do it. Right. After they show you a video of you doing it unedited.
Yeah, that only works for people like Nancy Pelosi.
Yeah. It's like bro,
politicians can...
And the funny part, and again, this goes back to shitty messaging. Bro, just eat it. Just say, you know what? I listened to the information that my producers gave me. I didn't fact check it, and I said it on air, and I apologize for getting it wrong. If he just said that sentence right there, he could then move along and people would come listen to it. It would get him his credibility back. But he refuses to do that.
His ego wouldn't let him. And it's the thing. Had he just come out and be like, hey, look, this is how this business works. I'm a decent-looking dude who sits in front of a camera, and they feed the info into my ear, and I repeat it. Right? Had he said, like, oh, okay, so now we know it's all bullshit. But, yeah, his ego wouldn't let him do that.
And it still won't.
Yeah.
And right, I mean, and that's what Dave Smith was like telling him. Like, we have the evidence right here of you doing this. He's like, and I think at one point Dave was just so frustrated. He goes, just admit it, man.
Yeah.
Just admit what you did.
Now, Dave Smith is a really good debater. He was on a debate on Rogan with, oh God, what's that guy's name? Douglas Murray.
Yes, yeah.
But how could you have you even been there?
Yeah. Oh, they roasted the shit out of
my
that
God.
Because Murray did such a poor job. The funny part is that Smith really didn't debate him in the moment because I think he was just so dumbfounded by the argument.
Yeah.
Like he didn't. His argument back was, well, "What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Why do I have to have been there?
Right, like,
I can read about it and research it."
Yeah, he said I haven't been to 1930s Germany, but I can tell you that was pretty bad.
Right. Yeah. and the funny part, like Murray wouldn't let that go. So I think after that, Dave Smith was just like, "Okay, dude."
Yeah.
Like at that point, he realized, all right, I can't have an actual conversation with this.
And the whole premise of Murray's his position was, you're just a comedian, you're not an expert, so you shouldn't be talking about this stuff. You know, let the expats. And he sounds like such a pretentious douche.
Because he is.
Yeah.
Shoe fits. You know what I mean? Come on.
Yeah.
And the problem is, like, Democrats, again, I'm not saying liberals, Democrats are harping on this bullshit. Well, that's free speech. No, the motherfucker was getting paid millions of dollars to talk on network TV. That's not free speech. No one owes him that platform to go and say it on TV for $11 to $12 to $20 million a year.
Yeah.
Free speech is you going to the public on a public street and saying what you want and then hoping people listen to you. That's free speech. No one can arrest you for that.
Yeah.
But there are still consequences from it if people want to consequent you for it. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's a proper sentence, but I'm going to stick with it. Yeah. And so this is just where I come back to. The Democrats in the last probably 10 years, they have done one thing well, and that's shitty messaging. Mm-hmm. It's like whoever is in charge of it really needs to be fired. And we're going to be fortunate enough. So next month, we're actually going to talk from someone from Third Way, which is a Democrat think tank that believes that the Democrats' messaging is god awful right now.
Yeah.
So I think it's gonna be a little bit of preaching to the choir a little bit, but my question to them is going to be, okay, well, who's in charge of it, and why do people still keep doing it?
Yeah,
it's like every single week it gets worse and worse and worse.
Well, if you go to a restaurant, right, and every single time they fuck your order up, and it's terrible, how many times do you have to go back to the same restaurant before you realize that? At some point you'll be like, you know what, I'm not going to this place because every time I go, I try to get eggs over light, and they always bring them out, but the yolk is freaking hard as
scrambled.
Yeah,
for crying out loud.
Yeah, they're not even fried. They're
right.
Scrambled eggs, and I order toast, and they bring me an English muffin, and every time, and I keep going back. Like eventually, I'm like, dude, stop going back there. Like they're never good.
And it's not like there aren't some good talking points to hit on.
Yeah,
like the wage gap right now. Hit on that shit still. The problem is the people that are hitting back against it, like let's say Bernie does it. Well, Bernie, you've been in office since the 70s. What the fuck have you done?
Yeah.
So he can't be the messenger.
Yeah.
Ocasio-Cortez can't be the messenger because she's just so extreme in saying dumbass shit. It's like the person that needs to say this stuff, and to be honest with you, the only Democrat who I think is just nailing messaging is John Fetterman. Mm-hmm. And it almost seems like he's going to leave the party because they can't stand him.
Yeah.
And the funny part, it's Fetterman and even Ro Khanna a bit out in California. He seems to get it. Now, don't get me wrong, he says some shit too. But, I mean, at that point, it's like he's not saying any more weird shit than Republicans don't.
Yeah.
But, and the funny, like the other thing is like, Ro Khanna is actually working with Thomas Massie on a bill about the Epstein files. Mm-hmm. Who, if you had to pick two dudes who would never work together, it was those two. And guess what? They're working together.
Yeah.
And you want to know something? I don't care what they're working on together. I'm behind it. Mm-hmm. Because I want to see people work together.
Yeah.
As someone in the middle, as someone in the 50+% in the middle that determines elections, I want to see that. Mm-hmm. And so, but Democrats just ain't seeing that shit. It's like, wow. Every week you come out with something fucking more nuttier than the last.
Yeah.
And for Republicans, for their part, yeah, they say some weird shit too. It's just not as whack and fucked as that. It's like, we're trying to out crazy the other side at all costs.
Yeah.
And it's like, you have midterms that you need to win. Are you going to be one of the only minority parties not to gain seats at midterms? Because if you keep going down this road, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And then, well, that's gerrymandering. We can get to gerrymandering in a minute.
We've been meaning to do an episode on gerrymandering for a while, and the state in which we are in. Uh-huh. And people say, oh, the Republicans gerrymandered. Yeah. Look, do yourself a favor and look at the congressional district map of Maryland, and you will see some really weird shapes.
Not this one. And the reason being is because when we had Larry Hogan in office, he instituted a bipartisan commission to redraw the lines that were. Look at the maps from, I think it was 2016. Those, we had one called the Batwing.
Yeah.
Like, no joke.
There's one that looked like an amoeba.
Yeah. Like, we had some fucked up lines. And then the funny, and again, shit messaging from Democrats. The Democrat majority leader in the House, Maryland House, after Texas was going to start doing their shit, was like, well, we can do that too. Motherfucker, it's 7-1. You already did it. Like, Maryland has 30-something% Democrats, yet you got them down to like 15% representation. You can't fuck it more than that.
Yeah.
I think Massachusetts is what, something to 0. Mm-hmm. You can't, like, already got some gerrymandered shit going on. Texas was the first probably GOP state that kind of fought back a little bit. And and again, Democrats, wonderful of shitty messaging. They left the fucking state. It's like, do your, and for the Republican side of it, whoever's doing their messaging must be the easiest money they've ever made. Because, oh, they fled the state. Oh, they're derelict in their duties. Oh, and then, of course, they go and they talk with the most Democrat of Democrats. Gavin Newsom, who nobody can fucking stand,
right,
and J.B. Pritzker, who also nobody can fucking stand. Two multi-millionaires. In fact, Pritzker's a billionaire.
Yeah.
From one of the wealthiest families in this country. And Pritzker talks about the billionaires. That's you. That's like Bernie talking about oligarchy. That's also you. We're going to take down the oligarchy. You're going to take yourself down?
Starting with, I'm one of the cool ones.
Right. I'm a virtuistic. I didn't take any money from the pharma lobby, except for all of the ones from the employees from the pharma lobby that definitely didn't come from the pharma lobby, right? All the ones that, like, there just happened to be $1.8 million given to you from pharmaceutical employees.
I thought you meant farmers. Farmers lobby.
Even Bernie, it's like, dude, you think everyone's fucking stupid. Well, guess what? You can con 30% of the population. You need the other 70%.
Yeah.
Actually, you don't even need to. You just need another 40% to win an election. And guess what? Those people aren't that fucking dumb.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong, I shouldn't say that because we've seen some dumb shit. But you understand what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. Like, you can't win an election with 30%. You just can't.
Yeah.
And at some point, you got to realize that this shit ain't working for you.
Yeah, so there's the 30% are going to vote for you regardless.
Yeah, you don't have to.
You don't have to work for them.
Well, and unfortunately, to be honest with you, Democrats are losing some of that 30%.
Yeah.
So there was a number, and it said, I believe since the last election, Democrats have lost 2.4 million voters, and Republicans have gained 2.5. Now, of course, the GOP is like, see, we're the better poor people. You got to slow your fucking roll. Yeah. And I'm going to tell you why. And a lot of people don't realize this. So when they look at all these shooters, and all these nasty people, and they say, well, look, he was a registered Republican. Okay. Here's a dirty little secret that nobody really wants to know. And it goes with, I'm not going to say it's election interference because it's not really. And it's completely legal. There's nothing illegal about this. Essentially what happens is, let's say I'm a Democrat. Mm-hmm. Before the primaries, I'm going to register as a Republican so that I can vote in the Republican primary. Now, why would I do that? It's because I'm trying to get the least electable Republican into the general.
Yeah, I think they did that in whenever Wes Moore was elected.
Right.
The Republican Party in Maryland, who had run successfully a Republican governor in an overwhelming majority Democrat state in Larry Hogan,
74% approval.
All of a sudden, doesn't go with Hogan's handpicked successor. I forget her name. Goes with a MAGA Republican.
Well, I'm going to say MAGA very loosely.
Yeah.
They labeled him as a MAGA
Yeah.
Republican. That was, I mean, hey, they did a great job with that. They made that label stick.
Yeah.
And I think Trump even backed him or whatever. And you're right. When Larry Hogan was done with office, he had a 74% approval rating. If they would have nominated the lady that he kind of had, I mean, not he endorsed her, right? If she was in the general, there was a really high probability she was going to win. But they got Dan, I think his name was Dan Young, or something like that, and he was just a miserable candidate, like really bad, like to the point he got 30%. He only got some Republican votes, and he didn't get all of them,
Right.
And Wes Moore, a guy who never, he's not even from Maryland. He's a Hillary Clinton person.
He was born in Maryland, and then he wrote a book called The Other Wes Moore. So he was born, essentially it's between him and a kid named Wes Moore that grew up in West Baltimore. But the dude went to, I think he went to, he ends up leaving Maryland. They go back to New York. He goes through college and does fellowships and stuff, and then comes back and works for a private equity in Manhattan. And then eventually finds his way into politics through some nonprofit that he runs, and then comes back into Maryland. It's almost like he's a carpetbagger. Like, he has some Maryland ties, but it's almost like I was born in Philadelphia, and then we moved to a suburb of Philadelphia. Then we moved to New Jersey, and then we moved to here when I was like 6 or 7 years old. So that's like me saying I'm a Philadelphian and going back and running for mayor of Philadelphia as a Philadelphian. Like, technically, yeah.
I mean, and they do that in politics. I mean, Mitt Romney did it in Utah.
Sure.
I mean, the guy was governor of Massachusetts, and he goes to get the Senate seat.
In fact, he was born in Michigan.
Right, because his dad was governor of Michigan.
Yeah.
And it's like Hillary being the senator from New York.
Yeah.
And she had never lived in New York in her life. So I don't really put that on. But, I mean, the guy wasn't a great candidate for the Democrats. But what they did was...
He's been a worse governor.
Well, he's been he's running for re-election. I would be really shocked if he wins. But again, though, if the GOP nominee is god-awful, he's going to win.
Yeah.
As a Republican in this state, you are facing an uphill battle. That being said, 2 of the last 4 governors have been Republican.
Yeah.
And both of those Republican governors, I believe, are 2 terms. I think Ehrlich got a 2nd term.
I believe so, yeah.
And so, you know, it's not impossible. Are we going to get a Republican senator? Probably not, because Larry ran against the Angela Alsobrooks and lost horribly. So, look, but as governor, it's a different story. That being said, that is a tactic on the left and Democrats to basically register as Republican, vote in the primaries. And so and a lot of these people don't put their registration back.
Yeah, like me.
Right. And because they don't have to vote in the general.
No.
You don't have to.
Yeah.
And that happens in larger numbers than you think. It probably, I would say in like Maryland's probably in the hundreds of thousands of people that they get to do it. And the same with some other states. And
it's very easy to switch in Maryland.
Oh,
like you go online and do it. Like you don't even have to.
It's so easy.
Yeah.
So easy. You check a box. I think you pay $5.
You don't have to pay $5.
Yeah.
You need your driver's license number. Like it's pretty easy to do.
Yeah. And so people do it. And so then we get to the whole, okay, was the shooter a MAGA Republican? Does it, here's my opinion. Normally it wouldn't matter, but here's why it matters. Because right after it happened, you have the right, you have the GOP side saying all of this violence is coming from the left because of the left's rhetoric. And that came from the statement of the left saying, hey, we need to tone it down. And they're saying, and basically the right was saying, well, you're the one that needs to tone it down. You're the one influencing these people, these mentally unstable people, to do this kind of stuff. I think there's merit to both. But even Bill Maher said, look, and this is going to tie in. There is no question that these shooters, whether they be school shooters, whether they be political shooters, or political wannabes or whatever they are, or you can even say this for terrorists or whatever. These are people with mental health issues, regardless. Mm-hmm. I don't care what side of the aisle they are on. I don't care who they think they're doing it for. Their mental health is not in a good place. To the point, and then this goes to the point of maybe, yes, they could be influenced more than a regular person because they are looking for acceptance within a group. And sometimes, I always feel like people that aren't part of the group originally, who come later, they feel an extra duty to really show their loyalty to the group. Like they have to do something over and above to gain that acceptance from the group. It's how you get like a kid who joins the skinheads who really doesn't believe in any of it, but he does the actions that are over and above to get the people that are in that group that came before him to accept him more. And then he kind of morphs into that person, right? Like he wasn't that person originally, but he was alone, he was lost, and he needed acceptance, and that's who gave him the acceptance. And we've talked about this in the past. Gangs do this. Yeah. Terrorist groups do this. Like they find people who are missing something in their life. They're missing acceptance in their life, and they're looking for it. And these groups provide it, and they treat them well. They like a kid who is going through high school, middle school, or whatever. It doesn't have any friends on a Friday night, and all he wants to do is hang out with friends on a Friday night. And these groups find these kids and say, "Hey, we're going to hang out over here on a Friday night." This is the first time this kid's been invited to do anything on a Friday night in ever 3-4 years, yeah. Right? And he's like, "Oh, yeah, I'll definitely come." And he gets there, and it's a skinhead group. He's like, "Wait a minute, I don't dislike black people. I don't dislike Jewish people. I don't hate any of these people. But I really like getting invited over on a Friday night. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna be real quiet for a while, and then all these people, they treat him really nice, or her, and it's acceptance. And they're like, well, I really want to be part of this group because this is the only people that are accepting me. And you can apply this to trans. You can apply this to sport groups, fraternities. Mm-hmm. So, like, think about the kid who didn't have many friends in high school, goes to college. They always say this, you can reinvent yourself in college. Yeah. No one knows who you are. And you all of a sudden, nerdy, whatever, mathlete, whatever, goes to college, starts wearing his freaking bird dog shorts, showing 10 times too much thigh than he should be. He's wearing the polo shirt. Yep. Now he's a bro. Yeah. And he's going to go to the bro fraternity, and they don't know that he isn't that. Right. And he gets accepted by them. And now he's a bro.
And he has to out-bro the other bros.
Got to out-bro them. Because you can't show them you're not really a bro. Right. Because maybe they won't accept you. Yeah. And then you'll be back to where you started. Mm-hmm. And alone. You won't have the acceptance. This happens so often. I think more than what people think. And then, of course, you got some nutbag parents out there who kind of force their kids down certain paths that they shouldn't be going down. But, so do I think the Charlie Kirk shooter was this trans Antifa person? Maybe in name. Because apparently dating a trans girl,
furry.
It was definitely into the furry community, like because apparently he had like the VR goggles and was into like whatever furry game, something like Furry Shades of Grey. Apparently is the name of the game. Wow, I shit you not. And again, I'm believing what Bill Maher tells me. So I have not gone online because I don't want that in my search history. Right. But apparently there is a game called Furry Shades of Grey where you go online in a virtual headset, and someone apparently is virtually a ferret and is doing you like a dog. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how the furries get down, but I'm assuming that's what happens. And so he was into the furry stuff. He was into the trans girlfriend. But of course, the left is like, oh, well, his dad's MAGA, his family's MAGA. They even had some weird made-up quote from Grandma saying the whole family's MAGA. And, well, he's MAGA. He's definitely MAGA. He's like, well, or maybe he's a 22-year-old rebelling against his family and doing the complete opposite.
Because that never happens.
Right. Correct. And he's living with this trans girl, who he's. It's kind of like the old Adam Sandler skit from when he used to have cassettes, the comedy cassettes, and he basically, hey man, you should come to this rally tonight, and you should come on out. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a good time. And the guy's like, I think it's a cult. He goes, oh man, no man, you gotta come. And then all of a sudden, he goes, why do you want me to go so bad? Because there's a girl I want to meet there. And that's the whole skit. Yeah. It's like dudes will do shit for girls or sexual things or whatever. And so maybe he was trying to prove to her that he was down for the cause.
Yeah.
Who knows what's going on in this dude's head? But I doubt he had any real shit against Charlie Kirk.
Yeah.
But he knew he was going to score points. If he was going to go down in history, he was going to be, top dog for doing this. And do I think that's what happens with like school shootings and stuff? No, I just think there are some kids that are just, they're mentally hurt, and they need some acceptance, and this is how they think they get it. Or maybe in the case of school shooters, they're just like, fuck it.
Yeah.
I'm so fucking disgruntled and pissed off, and it might not be at my parents, it might be someone at school, who knows what it's at. But they've been driven to the point where they're going to do something really, really bad. And that's a mental health issue. And so I feel bad for, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying the world should feel bad for school shooters or people should feel bad for people who do this. I'm just saying, if you're looking at it with empathy, there are some people that need more help than they actually can get. And you can talk about why all day long. There's plenty of reasons why politicians failed. They defunded mental health facilities, and of course they did it because back in the old mental health facilities, they were fucking shocking the shit out of people and using chemicals to fucking wipe their brains out.
Yeah.
That's not good either, And so, I mean, at the sake of, droning on, it's just like, I'm not really sure. I don't know. I think there's, I'm not of the opinion that we're so divided as a country, because when you walk around in normal everyday life, real life is not online.
Right.
It's just not. Real life is not on YouTube. It's not YouTube, Twitter beef.
Some people's real lives are, though, in those places.
Because that's how they make money.
Yeah. And there are also some people that they don't do anything. Their entire existence is through their phone. It's through their my sister used to call the TV the idiot box. Mm-hmm. Well, it's through the idiot screen. Mm-hmm. We just shrunk the idiot box, and it's now your phone, and their entire existence is through that. So then everything they see, because it's going to show you stuff that pisses you off. That's what gets engagement. People don't engage with
100%.
Yeah. So they're only seeing things that pisses them off. So it's either going to be left-leaning stuff that pisses them, or anti-right stuff that pisses them off, or vice versa. It doesn't matter, but and no one ever takes the time to actually listen to the whole when that awful snippet or whatever comes out. No one goes to see the 5 minutes of discussion that occurred before and after.
Right.
To see that, they just see the one thing. It confirms their opinion, and they move on, and it just builds and builds and builds. So if you're already suffering from some sort of mental illness or need for acceptance, or both, and then that's getting pumped into your brain, it's bad news for that person in the end, and for whatever the object of their anger is.
Yeah. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate because there's also an aspect of it where certain people don't see things the same way, actions the same way. And by what I mean is, someone said to me the other day that they fear for the future because of what happened with Kimmel. Well, it's destruction of free speech. Okay, but they forgot what happened during COVID, when it was conservatives being taken off YouTube, like deplatformed on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, at the behest of the government. And we know that because of the Twitter files that came out. And people are like, oh, the Twitter files. The Twitter files were emails and phone call records of government officials talking with officials at these social media companies, giving them lists of people to deplatform.
Yeah. It should be the biggest, that and the Hunter Biden laptop should probably be the biggest stories in American political history, and it's just not.
It's not.
Yeah.
And then you've also got these Epstein files, right? I find it hysterical though, not by what happened,
right? Obviously, see, and that if someone hated you, they take that.
They would take that snippet.
Yeah,
he finds Epstein hilarious.
Yeah,
not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, I find it hysterical that Democrats now are all about release the files, release the files.
Yeah,
why aren't you releasing the files?
A year ago, they weren't.
Well, the last 4 years, they weren't. Oh, hey, you had a Democrat president. Pretty sure you had a Democrat majority in the House. You didn't release any files. You didn't release any videos. But now all of a sudden you give a shit because you're trying. You think in those documents it's going to dunk on Trump. Mm-hmm. Because Elon Musk went on Twitter and said Trump's in the files. Okay, I bet you thousands of people's names are in those files. One thing that Trump has said was he doesn't want innocent people that have their names in the files. And these aren't people that did any of the bad stuff. Yeah. It's just associates and this and that. But everyone, and now you've got MAGA Republicans, you got Democrats all clamoring for these files. And unfortunately, I hate to say this, but between Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, Dan Bondi, they have fucked this 6 ways from Sunday. First, there were files. There were files on her desk. Yeah. Then there weren't files on her desk. Then they got burned.
Yeah.
Then they got more files. Then there's videos, but no, the videos don't exist too. It's like, God, you guys got to get your shit together.
My dog ate it. They're like coming in with, I didn't do my homework excuses.
Exactly. It's like, so you know what? I may have to retract my statement about Democrats having a monopoly on shitty messaging because these guys are fucking it up way worse.
Oh, sure.
And we're talking about kid touching.
Yeah.
You can't fuck that up. You need to get that right. There's either files or there isn't. Get your shit right. And so, and by not releasing files, you're feeding the conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
Now everyone's on the files.
And the lack of information creates a vacuum.
That's right.
And vacuums want to be filled. Pressure wants to equalize.
I mean,
and if it can't be filled with the truth, it gets filled with rumors.
Next thing you know, we're in the files.
Yeah.
We're going to be in the files. By the end of this, we're in the files. You know what I mean? Maybe because, we sniffed Epstein's hair. We're in the files.
Yeah.
You know? The man had beautiful hair.
Better than mine.
He had, look, in those pictures, his hair is gorgeous.
Yeah.
A little gray, little silver fox, but hey, it happens to everybody. It's happening to me. I'm going from gray to white real quick.
I just don't have any. Gavin Newsom's got gray hair too.
Talk about silver fox, huh?
Yeah.
All those gay men out there. That's your boy. My gosh.
Well, Gavin's trying to center himself.
It's not going to work.
Yeah.
He's got so much baggage as far as his actions, the bills that he signed, the French Laundry thing alone. It's funny. It's like Eric Swalwell is out there passing he's passing out Jimmy Kimmel paraphernalias. Jimmy Kimmel, yay! Oh my God, First Amendment. Like, Broseph, you fucked the Chinese spy. You committed adultery on your wife to do that.
Yeah.
You need to sit all of it out. Be happy you didn't get thrown out of office.
Right.
The fact that he got reelected I equate it to Marion Barry.
Yeah.
Getting the mayor seat of DC back after he got fired for smoking crack. The famous Chris Rock diatribe on that.
Yeah.
Smoked crack, got his job back.
Yeah.
If you get caught smoking crack at McDonald's, they're not going to let you around the Happy Meal. Well, they let Marion Barry around all the Happy Meals.
Politics is one of the places where you fail up.
You really do. You really do. So, I guess the point of this is and the title of this is gonna be Charlie Kirk, so it's gonna get clicks, right? Like, I just feel like the Democrats needed to sit this one out. They did the same thing when Trump got shot in the ear. Did he really get shot in the ear?
Oh yeah.
You still have people that are like, I don't really think he got shot in the ear.
Right.
It's like, okay, let's say I'll play that game. Let's say he didn't get shot in the ear. Someone shot at him with a bullet and killed somebody.
You know that's funny? Nobody knows anything about that.
Nope. And the funny thing is, like, I even want to like grow to ask about the shooter's affiliation. And you can have the conversation with Gro. Like, you can go back and forth with it. It's like, he didn't really have a political affiliation, whatever. It's like, okay. I was like, did he have an association with BlackRock? And it's like, oh, well, the affiliation was that he was in a commercial or an educational video for BlackRock.
Yeah.
Way back when. And like, so all it does, like, even like someone who does that, it just opens the door to a conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
Was BlackRock trying to take him out? Trying to take Trump out? Did BlackRock? And then you've got the people on the left that say, well, the government wanted to take Charlie Kirk out.
Oh, then came the Israeli government wanted to take Charlie Kirk out.
Apparently Israel is behind everything.
Yeah.
They are amazing at all of this stuff, apparently. They've done it all.
Yeah.
They're behind Hollywood, the banking industry. They run every government on this planet, apparently, as well. And they're just shooting people.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. Is Mossad a bad organ? Like when I say bad, I'm talking like Stephen A. Smith when he calls like Lamar Jackson a bad man,
yeah.
or Aaron Rodgers is a bad man.
Yeah.
Mossad is like that version,
yeah.
Right? Like they go around and they get shit done. Do I agree with the shit? I don't know.
But if they're behind all the recent assassination attempts, they're only 1 for 3.
I know.
Which if it was a batting average, they'd be Hall of Famers. Yeah. But you think they'd be better at?
I feel like if you're in the assassination game, you got to bat pretty close to 1,000.
Yeah.
Like, you can't be missing.
Right.
Because, are you really that good?
It's just like if you're in the heart surgery game or the brain surgery game, you got to be like...
Or the flying airplane.
Yeah.
You really can't be 90% good.
Yeah. You get on the airplane and be like, I have a 90% success rate in landing.
I will see you later. I will be renting a car today.
Yeah.
90's just not going to cut it for me. I feel like if you're Mossad and you're batting 1 for 3 in the assassination game,
isn't that like your thing?
Yeah, you got to be better at. People aren't going to call you anymore.
Yeah,
it's they're not going to call them McDonald's when 5 Guys is around. Right. Like, who's the 5 Guys of assassinations? Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, they got maybe Charlie was like the get back. It's like, hey, I know we missed Trump twice, but we'll get this one.
Yeah.
See, we're as good as our last one. I'm glad we can make light of assassination attempts. It's a good time.
Yeah.
That's why it's a comedy podcast. Feelings over facts on the show. But yeah, no, I feel people are now, and on the internet is now openly asking, is there a reconciliation for the right and the left? And I will say this is not the most polarizing time in this country's history. I mean, you can go back to the founding fathers. John Adams and Thomas Jefferson didn't agree on much of anything.
Mm-hmm.
There were some others. Yeah, there were some other points in time. I mean, shoot, there was something called the Civil War.
Yeah, that's pretty polarized.
That's pretty polarized. Actual shooting. I mean, well, they shot guns here too. Okay, I get it. This ain't the 1800s.
Right.
We're not going to just line up across from each other and start shooting. It's going to happen a different way. But still, I don't think we're as polarized as that. So, I don't know. I mean, I guess to wrap it up with the vote, you got anything that we can close it out with? I put pressure on it. Sorry, I just threw that at you.
You just went to the bullpen. And, like, I'm not even warmed up.
I didn't even call down first. I just like, do it now. I'm asking you to sprint in from left field.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, you don't want to be corny. Like, can't we all just get along? Like, this is that's the. But I definitely think that there are because I don't live my entire existence online or through cable news or through any of this. I have a lot of different friends that come from all kinds of different political leanings and backgrounds, and I think that that's the way most of the people in this country are. I think you have a very vocal, unfortunately just omnipresent noise of discontent and division going on, and it's in everybody's pocket. And I don't want to sound like the old guy that's like, "It's your goddamn phones," but it's kind of is. But people also have to have enough sense to realize that that's not real life. The interactions that you have with people in front of you and around you, that is real life, and that should be where you take the pulse. Not at one point in my life, I was an EMT, and you have to take somebody's pulse, obviously. Well, they said, especially on really little kids and really old people, not to have your thumb behind the pulse. Like, so if you're taking a radial pulse, not to have because you could actually pick up your own pulse more so than you could, because your own pulse could be stronger than theirs, especially if they're having heart issues, if it was thready or whatever it was. So I think that's what it is. It's like they're picking up their own pulse through their own biases and opinions, and they're just in an echo chamber, constantly being influenced by it, when really what they should be influenced is what's around them. Take the thumb off the back of the wrist so you can feel the actual pulse of you feel what you're looking for, not the stronger sensation coming in through which it's not even real. It's all artificial. It's manipulated.
Yeah. But like we said before, if that's the only acceptance you're getting, you're going to go to where you're getting accepted. So, all right, I want to thank Adam Chubbuck with Douglas Realty in Pasadena, Maryland. That's tacmd.com, TACMD.com. Did we mention he's signed back on? I don't know if we said that in the last
We did.
time. Okay.
Because we did one episode where we said he was leaving,
That's
and we
right.
wished him well, and then he came back.
Right.
So, we mentioned that.
Okay. Thank you for listening. Like, subscribe if you can right now. If you listened all the way through an hour and 6-ish minutes, click a like if there's a like. Maybe give us a rating on what the podcast platform you're listening on, or put a comment if there's comments available. There's so many different platforms. They all got different shit going on.
I don't know.
Just click something.
Yeah.
If you can. That'd be great. All right. We'll talk to you next week.